check this bike out. This bike is kind of a mystery. So this is an RMZ 450. We haven't had a 450 on the channel in a while. So the seller of this bike said he bought this thing like 4 years ago. He bought it thinking that the kickstart was locked up, but the crank was bad. So he replaced everything, rebuilt the whole thing, and he said he could not get it to run. So we are going to try to diagnose this thing today. He said he's been through the whole bike like 10 times, and he's just sick of working on it. He just cannot solve the problem. He said it has spark, has compression, and is getting fuel. He said it just will not start. So it's kind of a mystery. It was up for, I think it was up for 25 or 2,000, and he came down to $1,500 on it. He wanted to give it to me so that he could see what the problem was after he sold it, because it's keeping him up at night, not knowing what's causing the no starting situation on this thing. So he said he put new plastics on it. It is a 2005 RMZ 450, and he has 2007 plastics on it. And he said the only bolt that doesn't match up is right here. But the rest of the bike is pretty clean. Back tire is a little bald, but that's not a big deal. Yeah, it's really clean. Looks pretty nice. It's all stock, except for the bars and for the shifter. But we've got the stock pipe on there. But yeah, everything looks pretty good. This one will be fun. So let's start digging into it, see what we find. Alright, little walk around here. Vinny looks excited about it. So you can see it's a pretty clean bike. I just noticed the rear shock is junk too. Blown out. So that's no good. But yeah, pretty clean bike. For 1,500 bucks, if we can get this thing running, I think it'd be a pretty good deal. Look at you. Crazy dog. Alright, so we're gonna add some gas to it. We'll see if this thing flares up. Alright, gas is just pouring out of the carb here. Poured out everywhere. So we're off to a bad start. So probably needs a carb cleaner right off the bat. Alright, so it's getting gas, at least we know that. Let's kick this thing over a couple times. She does not want to go, so let's get it into the garage and see what's going on. All right, we got it in the garage here. We're gonna start working on this in a second. So for a bike to run, it needs spark, compression, and fuel. So we saw fuel was getting to the carb, but is the carb putting fuel into the engine? We don't know that. So we can't rule out fuel quite yet. We can't rule out compression, and we can't rule out spark. So obviously all those things have to be checked. Compression feels like it's there. It's a little hard to tell because it does have a decompression mechanism on the cam. So as the cam rotates, it releases a decompression mechanism, and it releases some of the compression in the cylinder. And we'll have to check the specs on that, because if that's off, it can release too much compression and the bike won't start. So that's one possibility. And the other one is obviously no spark situation, or the carburetor's gunked or not getting fuel to the engine. But yeah, let's start with the basics first. Check for coolant. Just make sure that's there before we attempt to start this anymore. We've got cooling in there topped off. We now know why the gas tank was drained, or empty I should say. The carburetor leaks really bad. Let's check the oil right away. See if there's any in there. See what that looks like. This oil looks like. We're hoping it's not milky. Otherwise it's either a head gasket problem or a water pump seal that's bad. Hard to get way down there with this little dipstick. Alright, we're kinda in there. It looks like brand new oil. Oh, there we go. It's a little better. Yeah, it's really clear, brand new oil. So it looks like the water pump seal should be good, and the head gasket should not be blown. Let's go over to the gas line here. Just disconnect that, make sure the gas looks clean coming out of there. Oh, actually it looks like it came off right here. Good gas flow out of the filter. Yeah, that's all fine. We put the fresh fuel in there, so we know that's good. I think what we're gonna do is actually start with the carburetor. We saw that leaking really badly out of the overflow. So that tells me that either the float height is wrong, or the float is stuck in there, or something's not, right to where it's overflowing the carburetor, and it could be overflowing the engine as well, causing it not to start. So I think we're gonna start there, get that out, and just kind of go from there. Air filter looks good in there. At least there's one in there, that's good. Yeah, there's no way any dirt could be getting in. So that checks out. Alright, so we've got pretty easy access to the carb right here. So a couple different lines going to it. I'm guessing that's a throttle position sensor on there. I think that's pretty much it though. Then you've got the throttle. And you can hear the slide hitting the bottom of the carb, so that's good. It does have a accelerator pump on there, so it is squirting fuel every time you twist the throttle here. So it squirts a line of fuel into the engine. Well, supposedly it's supposed to, but that might not be working. Alright, let's get the boot out of here. Yeah, there's a little spark plug down there. Alright, so let's get this carburetor out. Silencer coming off here. So, looking down the silencer, looks like it's all clear all the way through. So, that is good. This subframe should flip up. Get in here. Alright. I think we can actually just pop it up on the top of here, through the top. Like that. Make sure our throttle's all the way down here. I'm gonna check the accelerator pump, and that is not working. So it should be squirting gas into the machine. It doesn't look like it's doing that. I have that little nozzle right there. You can see it's not getting any gas to it. That would definitely hinder starting. There we go. Alright, carb is free. The accelerator pump's not working. Alright, let's dig into that, see what we find. There was a bunch of gas in the carb, so there's no reason that the accelerator pump shouldn't have worked. One more. All right. That's pretty clean. Yeah, it's really clean. The guy said he cleaned the carb like 1,000 times. So, he could never figure it out. Let's see if the accelerator pump jet right here. Alright, that's clear. Get the float out of here. Nothing in the float. Needle looks good. The bike is stock, so it should be running a stock main jet. 175 for the main. And the starter jet out of here. Something's got to be clogged, right? Here's a little starter jet. That's clear. Looks like we're running a 75 for the little starter jet. Let's see what the pilot looks like. Pilot is a 42. Pilot jet's really clogged. Yeah, it's heavily clogged. So that could be the problem right there. That would be really nice if that was the problem. Let's see, here is the fuel screw. Right here. So he turns out. About 1.5. Should be a spring, an O-ring, and a washer in there. There's the spring, and the O-ring and the washer are in there, so that's good. Looks good. It's nice and clear. Needle feels good, not moving up and down. No slack in there. That all looks really good. Let's see if some of these passageways are clear. I think that one's clogged. So that's the passageway going to the nozzle for the accelerator pump, and that looks like that's clogged. There, just blew through it. Looks brand new. So what the hot start does is make it leaner. You can see the passage right here going to the hot start, and when it's all the way in, it blocks off that passage. When it's pulled out, it lets air in through there. Get the choke off. Looks like that's working. It's nice and clear. Ooh. Well, that's not good. Look at that. This thing is just disintegrated. Holy. No wonder that's not working. Jeez. Look at that. What the heck? So, accelerator pump is just disintegrated. Wow. That rubber is just eating away. What the heck caused that? Well, that's no good. Look at that. That's crazy. Never seen that happen before on one of these. Alright, I found a rebuild kit. Got the spring and the diaphragm here. Alright, so we've got the new diaphragm here, looking good. So on these you can see there's a little raised metal bar on this side, and it's just a flat one on this side with like a little cage around it. So that's going to go face down into the carb here. So you want the little metal, you want the longer metal piece sitting up. We got a new O-ring in there that came with the kit, and then we got a new O-ring right here that fits in that little groove right there. You can see. So now what we can do is put the spring on there, and we're going to be sealing this tight. Make sure all the O-rings stay in place. Alright, just looked it up. So the 175 main jet is actually a little bit big. They recommend running a 172 for stock, but that's not going to affect starting. So we're going to keep that the same. And this is the stock pilot jet. It's a 42, so we're going to keep that the same. Alright, we filled this carburetor up with gas. Check this out now. You guys can see a squirt. So we're squirting gas into the cylinder. Nice good stream there. So accelerator pump's working again. We can reinstall this. Alright, we got the carburetor all back on. Accelerator pump's working. Let's check out the spark plug next. Spark plug was pretty loose in there. Spark plug looks pretty white. Looks like it's never been run before. So that would make sense because he said he's never had started up. So let's see if we have any spark here. Alright, let's see if you guys can see spark. Hopefully we've got spark here. Oh yeah. Got good spark. Hopefully you guys can see that. So we definitely have spark. Let's get our compression tester in here. I looked up online for 2005 RMZ 450. Compression should be around 60 to 100 psi with the decompression mechanism in there. We're hoping for right in this range, right in here. So 60 to 100 psi is what we're looking for. All right, throttle open. Here we go. It's gonna be hard to kick over, I think. Alright, a little lower compression than I like. We're at like 55 pounds of compression. So a little bit low. That might just be because the rings haven't seated yet. Alright, we're gonna see if the compression goes up with oil down the cylinder. If compression goes up, it means our rings are not sealing properly here. Alright, let's try this again. Will compression go up? It goes up past that. Alright, throttle open, same thing. Yeah, it didn't really go up. So it's definitely not the rings. You can see stuck at 55. So that's good. All right, so we appear to be a little bit low on compression, about 5 pounds of compression too low. So that might have something to do with the hard starting. The rings are not seated yet, so that probably doesn't help, but still it should be, it says 62 to 100 PSI in the manual. So we can definitely check that out. It's either going to be a head gasket failure, the valves out of spec, or valves are not seating properly, or piston rings are worn, which we know that's probably not the case. It's a brand new top end. But what we're going to do now is put the gas tank back on, get some gas going to the carb, get that accelerator pump going, and just see if we can start this thing up now that the accelerator pump's working. So if we can get some gas flowing in there, maybe now we can start it. Hopefully we have enough compression to do it. If not, we'll tear down the top end and just see what's going on. All right, we've got the gas on. Gas is no longer leaking from the carb. So we're good there. Let's get this accelerator pump working. Get that fuel squirt in there. A couple quick ones. All right, let's see what happens here. All right, here we go. We're gonna choke it and then kick away. Running. Too smoky. Holy cow. Sounds pretty good. Burning off a lot of oil. even idling. Cannot believe that. Wow. Oh, she shut off. That's not good. Why'd she shut off? So the seller said this thing has not run since he did the top end. And it just fired up with the carb clean. So that is crazy. Sounded really good too. Alright, we got an oil leak here. Looks like oil is dripping from up here. See a bunch of oil coming from maybe the valve cover gasket. Yeah, it's dripping all over the place. So I wonder if those are just not tight or if the gasket's bad. But she fired right back up, which is crazy. So this thing's running pretty good. It's smoking a lot though. So let's figure out that oil leak and then try to get rid of that smoking. Yeah, so oil was dripping down on this side as well. So it looks like it was definitely the gasket for the valve cover here. And these were tight, you can see, so let's loosen these guys up. I think it just needs a new gasket. Cam chain feels good. Not sure why that was leaking. Doesn't look that bad. Weird. So we'll check the timing right away too, just to make sure that's good to go. But you can see cam chain is nice and tight. He said there's a brand new cam chain in there. Yeah, that all looks really good. And then we can check the valves too. Make sure the clearances are spot on. Looks like this one's a little stripped out. There we go. There we go. All right, let's find the T. for a line. Alright, so on the RMZ there's actually 2 lines that you're going to want to try to go to on the flywheel. As you can see, there's one to the left and one to the right. You want to use the far right one, so this one over here. So you want to line it up with that, with the notch in the case right here. See the notch right there? So we're going to line up the second line. Then we're going to come up here to the cam sprockets, and you're going to see a dot right there. See the little dot right there? Parallel with the surface of the head. Dot right here, straight up and down. Dot right there, and then a dot right there, parallel with the surface of the head. So this thing is timed perfectly, and it is all set to go. So the guy did a really good job timing it, not even a tooth off. So all right, so valve clearances for the RMZ 450 are going to be: intake is 4 thousandths to 6 thousandths of an inch, and exhaust is 7 thousandths to 9 thousandths of an inch. There's 5 thousandths for the intake. Just check them. Perfect. That one's a little tight. Oh, that slid in. So never mind, that's good. And then we'll set these to 8 thousandths of an inch for the exhaust. So he set the intake perfectly. That is perfect, nice and good. That one's just rubbing. And that's it. So all the valves are perfectly within spec. So again, the seller did a good job adjusting the valves. And he said he checked everything like 10 times. So yeah, everything looks really good. So he just forgot to check the accelerator pump, I think, and that was the problem. That really sucks. He said he had this thing torn down so many times trying to find the problem, and it ended up being something simple like the accelerator pump just being worn out. Crazy. So we can get everything back together. Let's put a little bit of the gasket maker on the surface here. All right, we just ordered up a brand new valve cover gasket, and we got this one back on. We're just waiting for the gasket maker to dry around there. But if that doesn't work, at least we'll have the new one coming to try that out. But we'll wait a day to let that set up and cure, and tomorrow we'll try to run this thing again, and hopefully we don't have an oil leak. I tightened everything down. All the bolts are nice and tight now. Everything's good to go. So hopefully tomorrow it doesn't leak and we can take this thing for the first test drive. All right, it's the next morning. So the valve cover gasket dried up. Well, the gasket maker looks dry, so we'll try this again and see if that still leaks. Still smoking a lot. Oil looks good, no dripping or anything. If we can get it to stop smoking, that'd be awesome. Alright, so what I think we're going to do is go ride this thing, try to clear it out, and we'll see if it stops smoking. If not, we'll probably have to tear into this thing and see what's causing the excessive smoking, because it's smoking quite a bit. Alright, just made it out to land. Let's see what this thing can do. Alright, I think we lost the kickstart. I feel something fall off when I was riding. Yeah, look. That thing just fell right off when I was riding it. I wonder if the guy forgot the bolt. The seller did when he put it back on. Or that bolt just rattled loose. Not sure, but good thing I noticed that falling off. Otherwise, I'd be searching 50 acres for this thing. So that's good. Alright, so this is gonna go right there like that. There we go. And by the way, this thing stopped smoking. So it is good to go. It's riding perfectly too. Definitely not smoking as much. It is still smoking a little bit though. I wonder if it's still burning off oil in the pipe or carbon in the pipe. So it is still smoking a little bit, but as you ride it, it gets better and better. So I'm thinking the smoking is going to go away completely. It's just, I think it's burning off oil in the pipe. Hopefully. but we'll ride it some more and see. All right, so I rode this thing for another probably 30 minutes to 40 minutes, and it's still smoking a little bit. So I'm not quite sure why it's doing that. I'm thinking possibly valve seals or rings were installed wrong on the piston. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. We'll probably end up tearing it down and checking the piston, and we'll see what happens. But the main goal for today was to get this thing running and driving, and that's what we did. It ended up being just the accelerator pump and the pilot being clogged, which was a super simple fix. So I'm happy it's running. Now we just have to get this thing to stop smoking. So that will be next video. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing. Stay tuned for next one, and until next time, we are out.